Well guys, looks like we are officially back at it again with another little tag video in particular. But this tag video in particular I thought would be really interesting to do, so let's go ahead and roll the titles now, shall we? My name is Kirsten. So for today's video alone, obviously, as you guys know, I am back at it again with another little tag video in particular. But this tag video in particular, I thought it would be really interesting for me to try to answer some of these questions. And what tag video is it, you may ask? Well, it is the vegan tag. I randomly stumbled across this on YouTube and I seen a video somewhere about these questions, and they looked like they were very interesting tag questions to try to answer, so I kind of figured I would do this in a video today. So I thought I would go ahead and do this video in particular since I have been vegan for quite some time now. So without further ado, I am gonna go ahead and dive right on into these questions in particular. Question number one is, when or why did you go vegan? So to answer when, that all started sometime last year in May of 2018. So May is coming up around the corner actually, so my first year anniversary of being vegan is coming up pretty soon, so that's pretty interesting, I think. And why did I go vegan? Well, to be honest with you guys, I was vegetarian for almost 2 years, and then one day I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna eat any more dairy, and I am just gonna eat mostly a plant-based diet. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna cut out dairy completely out of my life, and now I'm cutting out oils in my life, so, and from then on there, I am fully on a plant-based diet, and that explains when and why I went vegan. Question number two is, what or who inspired you to go vegan? So, in terms of what, years ago, I believe sometime in my early 20s, I was really curious about the whole vegan lifestyle because it was all relatively new to me. And so one day I stumbled upon a Watch Mojo video, and in that Watch Mojo video in particular, they talked about like controversial YouTubers. Freely was one of those people that ended up popping up, so, and I guess this kind of explains into the whole who situation, who in particular inspired me to go vegan. As much as she is a very controversial figure on YouTube, I would say Freely is what got me started into the whole vegetarian lifestyle at first, because she definitely inspired me to stay away from meat. And obviously I watched a video on YouTube called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear by Gary Yourofsky. I absolutely, till this day, look up to and admire this man so much for the incredible work that he still does today, like going around campuses and doing these little speech. I think he is really awesome in that regard, so massive respect for Gary Yourofsky for being the incredible activist that he still is. I don't know if he still does these kind of activisms or not, but I do know that he still does like these educational tours on like certain universities and like college campuses, at least the last I heard of. And eventually I started watching that vegan couple. From there, because I watched some of their videos, the vegan couple is what definitely inspired me to go vegan. I'd say that was part of the reason, and also watching that horrible graphic video called From Farm to Fridge by Mercy for Animals. That one really got me upset, and till this very day, because I watched that video in particular, it really did inspire me to stay away from meat and animal byproducts in particular. So that was definitely another inspiration too. So I guess you could say that's what really did it for me, and till this very day I am remained vegan. Question number 3 is, what is your favorite vegan documentary? Oh, there's definitely a lot of documentaries that I've seen that I thought were pretty good vegan documentaries in particular. One example would be Blackfish. I thought Blackfish was definitely an eye-opener for me on how those poor animals are treated at SeaWorld, and it broke my heart knowing that intelligent animals like that are mistreated so badly. It just really tore me apart just watching that documentary altogether. Another good documentary that I've seen related to veganism, I would say Dominion's pretty good, and Earthlings. Earthlings was definitely another good one. Cowspiracy, related to the environment and how it's so destructive today, that was definitely an eye-opener for me, and those are definitely really good vegan related documentaries that I recommend that you guys watch if you guys are interested in this whole vegan lifestyle. It definitely makes me, you know, stick on this path. Really interesting little documentaries. Question number 4 is, what vegan diet do you follow? Currently, right now, I am on a whole foods, plant-based vegan diet. Obviously, just recently I started cutting out oil from my diet because I know how unhealthy oils is because of the whole, you know, saturated fat and stuff like that. So that's definitely another reason why I cut oil completely out of my diet and just mainly focused on a whole foods, plant-based vegan diet. Although on occasion, at least once in a great while, like every week or every other week, something like that, I'll eat some kind of vegan junk food every now and again, but other than that, I mostly stick to a whole foods, plant-based vegan diet, so you could say I'm all set in that department. Question number 5 is anyone in your family vegan? Sad to say, but I'm pretty much the only person in my household that focuses on a plant-based diet. Unfortunately, none of my family is vegan, let alone vegetarian, so I'm basically the only vegan in the household. So that's all I can say in that department, really, is that I'm the only person in my family that focuses on a plant-based diet. And not to mention follows the lifestyle as well. Question number 6 is, do you know any vegans in real life? Do I know any vegans in real life? Unfortunately, I don't, but I do remember a few years ago, I believe. This was when I was on a vegetarian-based diet at that time. I was in a store called Free People, and grandmother from Indiana and we were talking about like what restaurants we could go to that were more focused on, like, you know, plant-based related stuff. So there was like a few ladies in there that worked at that time. One of them was a vegetarian and the other was a vegan, and both of them, especially the vegan girl that was working in Free People, she was giving me like all these lists of restaurants to go to, that what restaurants have like vegetarian related options, and she seemed like a really nice girl, and obviously I couldn't thank her enough for giving me these kinds of advices on, you know, which restaurants carries this and what restaurants to go to and all this, and that's the only thing I can say. I met one vegan in my life, and besides that, I don't know any other vegans in real life, besides that one person that I met a few years ago. Question number 7 is, what is your favorite vegan dish? My favorite vegan dishes, to be honest with you guys, I like all types of varieties of different types of vegan related dishes, and to be honest, it's hard for me to pick one, but I'll definitely pick out a few at the top of my list. So I obviously love vegan sushi, and I love curries and vegan Mexican foods and all that kind of stuff. To be honest with you guys, if there is one vegan dish in particular that I really love the most, it is definitely vegan sushi, because I love rice and I love the vegetables that definitely complement, you know, the rice and the seaweed wrap. It's just so very tasty for me, and a lot of people in my family would know that if it were up to me, I would just eat vegan sushi every single day and it really wouldn't bother me. So yeah, there's just something about vegan sushi in particular, and especially like the rice and the seaweed wrap, that just tastes so flavorful and so refreshing. So I guess you could say that's my favorite vegan related dishes that I really like, or vegan dish in particular. Question number 8 is, what's your stance on being cruelty free, but their apparent company isn't? To be honest with you, that could be referred to a lot of things. Besides, like, you know, cosmetic companies and like hygiene products, you know. The way I look at it is, the saddest thing is that, especially coming from somebody like me who's a vegan living in a non-vegan world, obviously the company that's focusing more on, like, you know, cruelty-free and vegan related stuff in their products, I think it's really awesome that companies like that are taking a step forward into doing that kind of process. But then with their parent company that's focused on that cruelty aspect, I think in some cases, companies that are trying to focus on cruelty-free related products and whatnot, I think are trying to slowly back away from those companies a little bit. But to me, it's kind of a little bit of a gray area. But I do try to stay away from, you know, companies that has their apparent company that's focused on, like, you know, cruelty products and animal testing and all that kind of stuff. I definitely do try to away from companies like that, because it is, like I said, it is a little bit of a gray area, and also it depends on, you know, how you feel as a vegan yourself. But I do know with myself personally, some companies are headed into the right direction of being vegan and cruelty-free, but somehow are just being stuck in that situation and trying to break free from it. But that's just my opinion. Don't take my word for it, but I think that's the process with, like, companies nowadays. But still, I try to stay away from, you know, companies like that. Question number 9 is, how do you react to interactions with meat eaters? Either them being rude, making ignorant or false claims, or having general questions. The best way I can try to answer this question in particular is, I would say it depends on what kind of response or reaction I get from people. Obviously, if they're being rude, if they're being really nasty, obviously there's a thing called treat people the way you want to be treated. So if people are going to be rude and nasty for me for no apparent reason, I have no problem trying to be nasty back. And depending on what kind of claim, whatever it is it might be, there's a good chance that I'll either ignore it, or I'll just respond depending on what kind of random ignorant claim somebody might might take. I might ask a question, I might ignore it. In terms of like the questions I would get from meat eaters, normally I don't bring veganism up to anybody unless, you know, people ask me questions or they say like rude things to me or whatever. In a situation such as a question, I think it usually depends on what kind of question it might be, but regardless, I'm more than willing to answer these questions or concerns that people might have on a whole foods, plant-based, vegan diet and like the whole lifestyle itself. And the common misconception that I'll hear from people is that it's mainly just a diet. But here's the thing. Veganism is not just a diet, it is a lifestyle. That means that you're staying away from companies that test their products on animals. You're staying away from like entertainment industries that focus on like animal cruelty in order for them to perform, and you know, and of course, you know, clothing, the mistreatment of animals altogether. And you know, animals that are abused and mistreated behind the scenes in terms of like, you know, food production, for instance. And just any other purpose, really. That's mainly what veganism is all about, is trying to reduce the amount of suffering as far as possible and practicable. Oh, goodness. My way of words today. But yeah, it's not just a diet, it's a lifestyle. But regardless, if it's like lifestyle related, I usually don't mind answering questions that people might have and all this other type of stuff. So yeah, my mind is open at this point if people have questions for me, or if they want to be nasty and rude, then I have no problem being bitchy back. So yeah, that's the best way I can answer this. Final question at number 10 is, what are your favorite vegan YouTubers? You see, this is the problem because during my spare time I watch a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that. But what are my favorite vegan YouTubers, you may ask? In terms of like the whole, you know, activism part of veganism, I would recommend, you know, people like Earthling Ed. And I love watching Earthling Ed's videos because it really surprises me just how calm and collective he is, just answering questions and, you know, trying to debunk meat eater claims and all that kind of stuff. It just really amazes me and surprises me just how great he is overall. I think he is a really awesome guy, and he's considered vegan Jesus for a reason. Let me tell you. Let's see. Another person I would recommend is James Aspie. I think James Aspie is pretty good. Let's see. Gary Yourofsky. He still has his YouTube channel up and about somewhere on YouTube. Any vegan YouTubers that I've mentioned, I will definitely list them in the description box down below if you guys are interested in checking them out. But other YouTubers I want to bring up is Joey Carbstrong is pretty good. Let's see, who else? Mike the Vegan is pretty good. He focuses on the nutritional aspects of veganism. Nutritionfacts.org is also a really good YouTube channel you should check out. Let's see, what else? Vegan Gains, he does really interesting live debates, and he mainly focuses on like health and nutrition, a little bit of ethics, and I think some of his videos are good, and I like his live debates. His live debates are really interesting. I would also recommend some of Freely's older videos. They're pretty interesting as well. That vegan couple is also pretty good, and I guess those are the vegan YouTubers that I'll definitely recommend if you guys are interested in checking them out. And seeing if anything sparks your interest. So YouTubers and things that I mention will be listed in the description box down below. So that is pretty much everything that I thought I would share with you guys for the vegan tag related video. I hope you guys enjoyed what I shared overall. So if you did, be sure to sucker punch that like button down below, or dislike it if you hate my ideas or whatever, and that's completely fine, I guess. Comment down below as well. Let me know if you guys are interested in doing this tag video in particular. I would love to watch it, and let me know ahead of time so I can check that out for sure. If you have any questions, concerns, anything at all, I'm willing to listen and have a rational discussion with you guys if I can. And of course, if you guys are completely new to this channel, and if you haven't done so already, please do dedicate the time and effort to subscribe to my lovely channel, join my little army of darkness, and if you hit that notification button, you will be updated with brand new videos every single Friday. And of course, if you guys are interested in following me outside of YouTube, all of my social medias will be listed in the description box right down below if you are indeed interested in checking them out yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a completely chill week, an awesome day or night, and I will talk to you all soon in the next video. So until then, stay completely dark and so fucking brutal and awesome, my friends. Take care. Bye for now.